I'm going to sort of start at about a 35,000-foot altitude and talk about what we think is happening in the world, focusing on financial markets and some of the changes that I think are likely to occur from both a regulatory and other aspect. To begin with, in case you missed it, there's a recession going on. This is already the longest recession in post-war history. We think it's also going to be the deepest recession in post-war history. At this point, things are looking a little bit better. It's not... The green shoot idea that people keep talking about, I think, is an exaggeration. What's really happened is we've gotten off the black diamond, we're onto the blue slope. We're still going downhill, and it's a long way yet to the bottom. I don't think we're going to hit bottom until late summer, early fall. But at least we're not quite as scared as we were a few months ago, and that's the good news. The recession's been going on since December of 2007. So we're already in, this makes this the 18th month. The recession began in the housing sector. Housing's been heading downhill really for 3 years now, subtracting pretty consistently about a percentage point from GDP growth over that period. But up until now, that's been offset by strengths in other areas, notably non-residential construction, which was having a decent boom, and foreign trade, where we were benefiting from a soft dollar and relative strength in foreign economies. Problem is this year, those two supports have gone away. Commercial construction is plunging. We're looking for a drop of about 30% in commercial construction activity this year. And foreign trade exports have also gone into reverse because, number one, the dollar has strengthened a bit. And number two, more importantly, foreign economies are in recessions that right now look even deeper than the U.S. recession. So this has turned into a global downturn. And that makes it more difficult for any one country to get out by itself. We're all in the same boat right now. We're all going to have to get out of this together. We do think that, as I said earlier, the signs are the economy is beginning to stabilize. Housing markets seem to be beginning to stabilize. We do expect prices to continue to drop for another year, however. We're beginning to see financial markets get their nerve back. All of that leads us to believe that the bottom is in sight, at least if you use a decent pair of binoculars. And we'll probably see, I'm hereby predicting the end of the recession on September 15th at 1 p.m. Give or take a couple of months. But there's still things that can go wrong, and I'll come back to that a little bit later. Let's start at the beginning, though. And the beginning was housing. The problem in housing was fundamentally very simple. We built too many houses at too high a price. And the reason we did it was simple. Housing was cheap because the price of a house to the average American is the size of the monthly payment. And back in 2005, when the Federal Reserve had interest rates at 1%, monthly payments were really low. And that meant that the average American could afford to buy a really big house. And being the average American, he promptly ran out and bought a really big house. The average home price got up to a record 3.4 times household income in the summer of 2006. That was fine at a 1% interest rate. It wasn't fine when interest rates started to go up. And then once home prices started to fall in response to that, people suddenly realized they were overextended. Banks realized that they had made loans to people who couldn't afford to pay them back, and the housing market went into reverse. The cure for it's simple. You got to stop building houses to get supply and demand back into balance, and home prices have to drop to a level that's more consistent with income. And that's what's been going on for the last 3 years. This year we expect to start about 520,000 houses. That'll be the worst year for the housing industry since World War II. In the United States, you need to build about 1.6 million houses a year just to keep up with demographic demand. So that should get rid of about 1 million units of excess supply. We got rid of about 500,000 last year. We'll get